Recorded.
I'm just too excited. I am too excited about tonight. Sally here, Alchemy of Healing. We have a guest speaker tonight, Amy Szumstein, who is on mute right now. And because she is so excited to get out this word, I have been looking forward to this all week. Now, if you guys had the pleasure of seeing Amy, she is also the Tower Garden with the green thumb. So if you caught that, that was really cool. So as you know, she and I can talk forever. So I'm not going to take any more of Amy's time. I'm delighted that you're here. And Amy's going to tell us how to break through our blocks that are keeping us back. Did everybody get a chance to print out the handout that she had? It is in your last mail confirmation letter. It came out at 7:30. When you registered, you got this. And if you want to print it out, you can. But Amy says that she has a way, if you get a piece of paper and you're going to draw, well, she'll tell you, but it's like a web. It's like a spider web type look.
Yeah, big circle.
A big
so
circle.
If you don't have it printed, don't fear, don't sweat it, don't stress. This is a no stress zone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do I have permission to share?
Yes, you do. Whoop. We're on.
Are we sharing?
Yes.
Ooh, nice picture.
Oh, thank you. So, first of all, I want to say thank you, Miss Sally, because she's right. We can talk forever, and we do have a great time doing so. And she invited me to do this for her group, and I said absolutely. And it's a way of, exposing some additional people to something that's not as well known as other modes of, clearing blocks and getting ourselves on track for where we want to go. So that's that. All right. My suggestion is, this is a darling puppy, and you should always start a presentation with something that endears the audience to you. So I'm kind of kidding, but this is it. So hello, and I'm so happy to see you all here. And let me say a few things about me.
Can I interrupt for 1 sec, Amy? Yeah. I don't know if I can everybody hear Amy well enough? Is she loud to? Okay, very good. I'm sorry, Amy. Go right ahead. It sounded a little muffled to me.
I'm glad you stopped me now as opposed to later.
Is your volume good?
Yeah, hang on a second. I'll check something. Does that make it better?
It's better.
Am I better?
Yes,
okay.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, so my background is as a nurse, and it was kind of interesting that I even went into nursing because we grew up a very holistically oriented family. My parents didn't believe in many doctors. I did eye exercises to avoid even getting glasses for years until I broke my wrist. They made their own cough syrup, just different holistic kinds of things. So for me to want to get the scientific perspective and go into nursing was unexpected, but it was awesome. But I soon realized you can't get better in the hospital on broth and Jello. Here's your salt, here's your sugar. And so it was really what you were putting in your mouth. So I started studying nutrition for, the last 15, 18 years or so now. And then I realized it's not what you're putting in your mouth either. It's what you're putting in your head and what's already been there and what isn't ours, what doesn't even belong to us. And so that's where things really started to change for me and the people that I've worked with. So again, thank you, Miss Sally.
My pleasure. I'm really delighted to be here. I did not realize that you came from a really holistic background. So that's interesting that you would take your nursing the information that you learned about the body and then watching people healing and trying to get better and struggling with that. And then now look at you. So, I mean, how everything happens for a reason.
Right. And having the science behind it really solidified a lot of that holistic, approach. And I will say, I can say it to you all and whoever's going to listen to this on the replay. My parents didn't even believe in vaccines. And that's like a bad thing to say right now. But I didn't get all of my vaccines growing up. They were just against it and felt that really your immune system, if given what it's supposed to be given, it'll heal itself and so forth. Now, when I became a nurse, I needed to get certain things anyway. I couldn't work with the population of people that I worked with as an ICU nurse, especially without having gotten some of them. But again, that takes you down a whole rabbit hole right now. So
we're sorry for distracting, but that's cool.
We're going to stop right there. But I will say this, there is talking about that. A lot of people are just feeling crisis fatigue right now. And I like that phrase because it encompasses so much of what all's going on. The masks, the elections, the Black Lives Matter, the COVID deaths that you may have experienced. I mean, there's just a plethora of things that people are exposed to and having to deal with in more of a shortened amount of time. I mean, even here in Atlanta, we have, I don't know if everybody's heard about it, but the cyber attack on the gasoline. So then there was, lines for gasoline yesterday and today, and, $3 a gallon and some gouging in other places. And so this crisis fatigue is really putting, a toll on our whole system and body and mind and where we think that we want to go. Like, what are your goals anymore? They get so clouded. And by the way, let me interrupt myself and say, this is a conversation. It's not just a presentation. So like Sally just had a question or a comment, feel free to just interrupt along the way, raise your hand, zoom your hand up, whatever. So what's cool though, is we do have the confidence to achieve any goal that we set for ourselves. And really the whole point is finding that goal. I mean, because we get sort of in the shuffle of things in daily life and kind of forget where we wanted to go. But what if I told you it's simple, easy, and fast? Would you be interested in hearing more? Yes?
Yes.
You'd like to take a leap of faith and put your own goals into this category? Well, guess what? You are in the right place. Ta-da! I know. Okay, so let's step back though. Has anyone heard this before? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I mean, it really is self-prophecy. Is that the right words? It's a self-proclaimed prophecy, because if you think you can't, you can't. And I'm working with preschool kids and kindergartners right now. And when they come up to you and say, I can't, the first thing we have to change is their philosophy. Yes, you can. You can't yet. Or, with Burge's phrase, until recently, that's a little more complicated for them, but you can't, or they can't continue to have that philosophy and really have their own goals. Now, the person who started some of this with me is Nakia DeVita. And so her phrase that she adapted was, whether you believe you can or believe you can't, you're right. And it's pretty much the same thing, but because all of those thoughts and beliefs are already in our head, that's where it comes from. She just sort of gave a little, spin on the original Henry Ford phrase and put it here. So let me say a little bit about Nakia. She started this in the 90s, this act, which I will introduce to you in a moment, accelerated change template. And it came about because she herself had gone through so many things, but she was really a systems person and had all kinds of family, health, multiple things. You have to hear her story from her. It's pretty interesting and amazing. But she started just putting things down and putting things in order and realizing that, oh my goodness, this can be changed. This can be changed. It's all in your mind and all this philosophical pieces. And so she started making, and I will show you because it's pretty intricate, an entire blueprint. And so when I work with people, I take them through the blueprint that she developed. And we just piece by piece, as she developed it, go through and find something that's blocking you, clear it. Find something that's blocking you, clear it. And it's been totally transformational for me. And it's like the onion that people refer to as, like, clear the mom that told me I was never going to be anything. Okay, let's get rid of that philosophy because that's not mine. Let's clear the block of my ex calling me a moron because that's not me. You just sort of work through the little pieces and sort of get your goal. It's a quick, the fast lane of the highway. And I've driven on the Autobahn in Germany, so that is definitely the highway that I want to be on. Let's get there quickly, safely, all of that.
And directly.
And directly. There you go. And I will say, so that's basically, though, why mindset mastery is the one thing you must master. I want to give an official definition, and I want to read it because I want to make sure that I give her the credit for it. So accelerated change template is a unique and direct way to identify and change subconscious beliefs, which we'll talk about in a little bit, that perpetuate old habits and behaviors that you want to change, obviously. It's a simple process that enables you to communicate directly with your subconscious mind in order to change those beliefs and attitudes that limit or sabotage your peak performance. And so you have people that have done studies now. Bruce Lipton, for one, is well known, and all of the things. It's just a matter of changing it. We have these parts of our brain that have been around. We're not fighting saber-toothed tigers anymore. We're fighting the world, so we don't need the same things and defensive mechanisms that we have then. Let me go back to my mom for a second. I said that she was somebody that put a philosophy into my head that wasn't true with calling me nothing, but she also had this fear of heights. And so when I was a young adult, I also had this fear of heights. And at one point I realized, I don't think this is really my fear. And so for 2 years, I spent the whole 2 years just doing different things, riding roller coasters. I went in a hot air balloon ride 2 times. I jumped out of an airplane, and I realized that it wasn't my fear. Now, do I love heights? I still to this day do not love heights, but I knew that it was something that was put into my brain. It didn't come from me. It wasn't my belief system. And so it was really helpful for me to go through that on my own. So who can answer this question? What is the one thing holding us back from achieving our success? Any takers? Anybody? The big F word, fear. I mean, it's fear. Did somebody want to say something? Nikki, did I cut you off? Did you want to answer that question?
I was going to say ourselves.
True. It's our own fear. Yeah. But it's our fear. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of success. It's fear of failure. I mean, there's so many fears out there, but it basically comes down to, what we have is the fear. And Donna recommended that I put a second system up today, and I haven't even looked at it. So there you go, Donna. That's anyway, but I did put it up there. Okay. I decided that this would be kind of a fun thing. And so I'm going to have a drawing for everybody that listens. And all you have to do is keep track of the phrase that I'm going to give you throughout the presentation. Write it down, send it to me at that email address. So amyetzcdcc@gmail.com. And no, I didn't make it tricky on purpose. Send me the sentence by noon on Sunday, and you'll be put in a drawing. Sally and I will get together. We'll do the drawing, and whoever wins will get a free ACT session with me. So I'll give you a minute to write that down. All right, everybody got it? Now I'm going to go through the other slides that have the drawing real fast. No, I'm kidding.
So are we listening for the word change?
Every time you see one of those, every time you see one of those slides, there'll be a new word. Just add it to your sentence and then send it in to me. You follow? Wait till you see the next
No.
one, you'll understand.
No.
It'll say word and then colon, right? Not semi, and then there'll be another word. So
And then there's going to be another word. So every word that you see that's the
change
green
that,
word,
the next one will be Donna or something like that.
yeah, change, Donna.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not like, it's not like a tricky thing, so I'll certainly help you along with that. But it was just something fun to do along the way. Okay, so if you do have your printout, great. If you don't, do you both have the printout, or all three of you?
I don't have the
Okay.
printout, but I am very familiar with this.
Okay, so what you need to do is just draw a circle, Donna or Nikki, whoever wants to, and I'll give you the main words to put around it. And then I'm going to read you a little sentence, and you can rate yourself, excuse me, from 1 to 10 in each of those categories. Okay, so the first one straight up and down is entrepreneur. Life purpose is at 1 o'clock. 2 o'clock is manifestation. 3 o'clock is wealth. 4 o'clock is personal power and peak performance.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Thank you.
5 o'clock is focus, clarity, and organization. 6 o'clock is worthiness and self-acceptance. 7 o'clock is energy, creativity, and balanced lifestyle. 8 is positive body image and ideal weight. 9, and I'll repeat any that you need if you can't read it on the screen. It's a little small. Which one do you need, Nikki? Positive body image and ideal weight?
That's number 8. No, it's number 9 on the.
No. Don't go by the numbers that are on there. I'm just giving you by the time of the clock so that you get the angles right. So positive image is at like the 8 o'clock spot, but it's
Thank
number
you.
9. Okay. And then number 9 spot on a clock is relationships. The number 10 spot on a clock is money, pricing for programs and services. And the number 11 spot is on a clock is speaking, getting known, and expert status. So I'm going to read through all those again, but remember the 12 o'clock spot is actually number 1. Okay, so entrepreneur, life purpose, manifestation, wealth, personal power and peak performance, focus, clarity, and organization, worthiness and self-acceptance, energy, creativity, and balanced lifestyle, positive body image and ideal weight, relationships, money, pricing for programs and services, and speaking, getting known, and expert status. All right, got it? Now, to score yourself 1 through 10, here's what you're going to answer in your mind. Number 1, entrepreneur. Do you develop the right entrepreneurial mindset to succeed? Do you have the right entrepreneurial mindset to succeed? So score it on a 1 to 10. 1 is obviously a minimal amount. 10 is ultimate. Like Donna, she's the ultimate entrepreneur. 2, life purpose. Do you need to gain clarity about what you were meant to do with your life, or do you already know?
So how do you score that? 1 is I don't know, or 8 is I don't know.
1 is you don't know.
You know?
1 is you don't know. 1 is you
You
just
don't
have a
know.
little
Okay.
idea. Right.
All right, thank you.
And really, it's the truth. The truth is, just be consistent for your paper. If you do it the opposite way, it still comes out okay. But
Okay.
manifestation. Do you want to become an unstoppable manifesting machine? A little bit or a lot of it? Wealth. Are you holding negative feelings about money? Five, do you have the confidence in yourself to do your best and to be your best? And that's personal power and peak performance.
Repeat the question, please.
Do you have the confidence in yourself to do your best and be your best? Worthiness and self-acceptance. Do you love and believe in yourself no matter what happens?
I think you jumped over number 6, Amy.
Worthiness, focus, clarity, and organization.
That's number
Yeah.
7. Yeah, focus, clarity. Yeah, I think you jumped over.
I did. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, sorry required.
Stop procrastination in its tracks when it comes to focus, clarity, and organization. Do you want to stop procrastination in its tracks?
Okay. The question is, do you want to or you do?
Do you want to? Oh no, I see what you're saying. It does say that on here though. Yeah, do you?
Do you want to stop procrastination?
Yeah, but you're right. So it should just be do you. See, I take notes as I go too. Because obviously do you is high, but I mean, do you want to could be high, but do you is smaller. Well, for some people, I don't want to make assumptions. All right, so we back on track now?
Yeah, I think there was another question that was kind of in the same way as that, but we'll just let it go because we probably all answered in.
So we're on number 8, which is sort of number 7 on our clock right now, correct?
No, you need to ask the one for number 6 on our clock again, please.
Okay. Do you
Please.
love and believe in yourself no matter what happens? All right, the next one, energy, creativity, and balanced lifestyle. Do you have the energy and inspiration to live the life you love? Do you have the energy and inspiration to live the life you love?
I wish they would separate energy from inspiration. I have the inspiration, but not oftentimes all of the energy. Yeah, ask me one. Yeah,
I'll
go
work
ahead.
on that for the future one. Obviously, it needs to be tweaked.
Well, you know, I guess it's when we ask 2 questions in one.
Yeah. Yeah, because the words really have a meaning for certain people.
Yeah, energy and inspiration are entirely different paths.
I felt the same way on the personal power and peak performance. Like my personal power, I feel, is pretty good. My peak performance can sometimes be lacking.
Except when you're competing in judo championship.
That's true. All right, so we are on positive body image and ideal weight. Have you learned self-care and to love, like, and respect yourself?
So we're talking about having learned, or do we? Is it a knowing, or do we?
Well, either. And see, that's where all this becomes a little tricky. Yeah. So you can answer it, but be consistent. So if you have it, or do you need to learn it? And then relationships. Do you have healthy, positive, dynamic, and strong boundaries around all your relationships? Do you have healthy, positive dynamics and strong boundaries around all your relationships?
Because that's definitely two questions.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just, yeah, it's like work and I feel like I need to do one based on family. This isn't my, like, I didn't create this, but it's a tool that I use. But I would love to break it down into a business one and a personal one too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like boundaries in personal life or business life, you know.
Although I guess in reality, you should probably have good boundaries in both, but yeah, one is probably more important for most people than the other. Okay, so money and pricing for programs and services. Step into your power and charge what you are truly worth. Do you have the confidence to step into your power and charge what you are truly worth? All right, and lastly, speaking, getting known, and expert status. Do you feel your positive energy when your ideal clients and target audience know you are eager and are willing to pay for your services? Do you feel your positive, do you feel your positive energy when your ideal clients and target audience know you are eager to pay? Does that even make sense? Do they feel your positive energy when you're working with your ideal clients and target audience? I guess that's better. Believe it, I did read this beforehand. All right, so now what you do is connect. So let me get a little picture here. Now you connect all your dots and make a big circle. So, you know, it can look like an amoeba kind of thing, you know? And really what we're shooting for is for you to see that. Let me see. Hold it up, Nikki. You're laughing. Does it look like an amoeba? Yeah. Crazy, right? Donna, you want to show yours?
Sure.
No?
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Raise it up. There you go.
Perfect. Yeah. Sally? Yeah. Slide it over just a little. There.
Yeah,
No,
mine-
when I first, go
Like
ahead.
a sunflower, I think.
Yeah, when I first did this, mine was like this tiny little amoeba looking thing. Since then, it's, you know, grown a little. But really what you're envisioning is the hope that you can get to a nice, smooth outer, you know, tens all the way around so that your wheel of life is actually a successful, usable wheel that keeps rolling and moving in a nice pattern. And as things pop up, you know, you might have one or two that needs to move around. We learned that we now have several that we could do: personal, work, professional, you know, all of that, to spiritual, to make us to understand how the blocks impact the areas of your life. So this is actually step one of how the whole process starts. Does anybody have any questions about that besides me wanting to tweak some of this? No? All right, so how do you know if you have limiting beliefs? Well, hello, look at your results. What did you just put on there? You know, there's something like I was saying about my mom and her fear of heights. It wasn't really my fear. I had limiting ability to go and do things. I didn't even want to fly in an airplane. And then here I am years later jumping out of one. That was pretty cool to me. So your results, and if you look at your results, backtrack. What are your actions that are the problem leading to your results? And then maybe your actions, you know, maybe you're not motivated to do something because of how you feel about it. I don't want to pick up that phone and call people because I feel a certain way. So you're not doing the action. Therefore, you're not getting the results you want. And then look in front of that. What are your thoughts about those feelings? You know, again, did somebody else put those thoughts in your head? Did you do it? Is it just your fixed ideas, repetition, you know, school learning, something that's gone into your head that isn't necessarily fact? Or is it your beliefs? So again, it's why the beliefs are the most important thing. What you truly believe, what you put into your head every day, what you put into your head year after year, month after month. So your beliefs lead to your thoughts, which lead to your feelings, which then lead to your actions, which lead to your results. It's a nice flow. Like when you see it that way, it makes it look so easy. It's like, dang, if I could just fix this part, it would go much better if I could just do this part. But does everybody understand sort of how that goes, that flows? Has anybody seen that before, by the way? Yeah, perfect. All right, so again, that's what comes out of your results. And so step two of the whole process, identify the root cause. You know, the one example that I've been giving is my mom and the flying. That wasn't mine. So these are the symptoms. I don't want to fly because somebody else put that thought in my head. And if you can follow the notion of cause and effect, then you can imagine the chain of events over time. A causes B, which causes C, and so on, until we finally clear A and get the whole thing moving again. Now, loggers will tell you that one log can muck up the whole flow. And so if you can clear that one kingpin, as we call it, or the one log jam, the one log that's causing the log jam, and you get it flowing, that's how the whole process can get on that highway, that super highway in Germany, the Autobahn, and clear it up. So with precision accuracy, we go through a series of questions, and the sets, people come to me two ways. They want to either have their own goal. So someone I worked with, she had this statement that she used to say every morning, you know, I am a highly sought after, happily married, highly sought after international speaker, author. And yet when we started working together, the speaker part wasn't congruent with what she really thought. She could not envision herself on a stage talking to hundreds, tens of thousands, you know, whatever people. And so when we started clearing that, now she really is an international speaker and speaks on stage, well, pre-COVID, speaks on stages all around. But that was that one point. The other thing is people come to me and say, I'm not really sure what I want to work on. And so we have this list that comes from the blueprint, you know, and it usually comes from these categories too. You know, do you want to work on your weight, your positive body image? Do you want to work on your business? You know, that kind of thing. So anyway, we'll find that out. I use kinesiology. Donna, Sally, I know that you were going to start working with your group with muscle testing. Have you done that lesson yet?
What we're doing at the end of this month, thank you for bringing that up, on the 20th, just next Thursday, we're going to be using pendulums. which is a similar tool.
Right.
So that'll be going out to everybody, an invitation to register for that class on how to use pendulums to clear your chakras and read your energy. Yep. Yep.
That's actually how I prefer to do it. Yeah, I've done finger pinching and stuff. I don't know. But I don't always have one, but I tend to wear a necklace that allows me to do it. So I'll take off my necklace and do it if I'm going to pinch somewhere.
Right.
But I'll go through the list of belief statements that I have, and we'll find the one that pops up. So I did one for Sally earlier in case we went through all this quickly and had time. I don't know that we'll have time. Okay, what else do we have here? Okay, so if you have the first word, which was change, the second words are your mindset. All right, so one of the things that's really important to understand about the brain, the subconscious, conscious, and superconscious, and one of the reasons this works so well, accelerated change template works so well, is because you're really trying to make those two pieces congruent, the conscious and the subconscious. And the parts of the difference between them is choice versus habit. So your subconscious, you know, you're choosing to brush your teeth in the morning. You're choosing to get out of bed. The habit things, you don't have to think about breathing. It's just going to do it for you. The subconscious and the conscious work together, or they can be, you know, conflicting at times. Abstract and literal. It's one of the reasons, like I said, with the little kids, you can't just say, I can't do this. Mrs. Szumstein, I can't do this. You got to throw in that yet. If you're constantly being literal about it, you know, your brain is taking that. It feels it. I am is that phrase that we're all aware of. I am, you know, a moron. Well, I'm not. So you can't speak literally. In the abstract terms with I want, it's too vague. You know, it's that's not clear for your conscious brain to understand. And then present versus the past or future. So you can't give your brain those things that might happen or that did happen. You have to use it in the present. I am. That's why that's such a powerful phrase. And this is amazing fact. I couldn't believe this when I heard about it, but why the subconscious beliefs matter is they represent 99.99995% of your results. So if you're thinking that your brain is like my example that I use is the dial-up phone for 2,000 bits a second, let alone the smartphones that we have now for 4 billion bits a second, it's understandable why if you put the right stuff into your subconscious, you're going to get so much more powerful results out of it. Okay, next part of the sentence, change. Yes, it's the second time you'll see the word change. All right, and here's a great example of the brain. So you're reprogramming your subconscious. As I said earlier, we're not being chased by saber-toothed tigers anymore. We don't have to be hiding in a cave that's just, you know, a reflex. We can plan, we can write in a journal in the morning. This is what I want. This is what I am. This is what I believe. And you can get that. Now, listen, as a nurse, I could really go whack on a brain, but for purposes of this, we'll just stop with this picture. I'm sure Donna feels the same way with all her mind shifting stuff, you know. I'm glad you guys are here to just talk me through this. Okay, so what is ACT? This is what I was saying before, a precise custom reprogramming system.
You're doing great, Amy.
Oh, thank you. You uninstall the negative, but if you leave a hole where you've uninstalled it, you're opening it up for something that's not what you want to go back in. Like people say, be careful what you wish for. With this, I know people, not personally that I've worked with, but some of the stories that I've heard, okay, I wanted a house on a hill. Well, it fell off the hill. You know what I mean? Like you have to be clear in what you're asking for, because when you make that manifestation happen, it may not be all of what you want. So you install new positive supportive beliefs. And then again, you're constantly asking with the use of the kinesiology, is this right? Is this right? Is this what I want? Is this good? So there's no, like it says, no guesswork. There's nothing that's left unturned, nothing that's left to chance. You've been able to answer all the questions appropriately as you go through. And so this is part of the breakdown of the CLEAR system, or CLEAR process as it's called. And the choose, communicate, and clarify, 3 C's all go into it. So choose what you want. What's your goal? Let's communicate it in the right language so that your subconscious gets it, not just your conscious brain, but all those things that we talked about with the subconscious, using the right tense, using the right I am words, all of those things. And then clarify it, make sure that it's in good form. Reliably communicate, discover what the kingpin is. That's what we're trying to clear out. And then translate your goal. You want that. I am a highly sought after speaker. If that's what she wanted, that's what she wanted. And that was how she wanted it stated. And this is part of the process of, when we meet and go through all of that. And then levels of permission. So people always say, well, if you can get into my subconscious, how do I know you're not going to steal $1 million from my bank account? Well, again, it's like the telephone. If I call you and you choose not to answer, I can't even get in, which has happened when I tried to work with my daughter one time. It wasn't happening. I was trying to do something with her just to show her, and she was not letting me in. So it's like the telephone. You don't have to answer it. If the subconscious brain doesn't answer, it doesn't answer. Sally, did you want to say something? I saw you come off mute for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say then you would be flying all the time, and you'd have your villa in the Riviera. I mean,
Right.
just add a couple extra zeros on the end of that check, please, and everything.
Exactly. I'd be driving my turquoise Lamborghini around. Yeah, exactly. I have a picture of it on my dream board. Yeah, so levels of permission. I can't get in if you don't want me in. And then you're going to try to get the highest priority goals. Every time I do a question, is this in the highest and best good? Is this in the highest and best good? Because that's really what you're looking for. You're not looking for, okay, iffy, kind of all right. No, the highest and best good. And then what was interesting was the 2 people that I learned this from, one of them had been doing hypnotherapy for years and years and years and was getting great success. And, like 30 to 60 days, people would start to see shifts and changes in what was happening. And Nakia stood up and said, I can do it in minutes. And she's like, no way, woman. And then she went through it herself and realized that really things can be changed in just minutes. Like you can have a statement, go through a process, come back to that same statement, and it's shifted from being negative to positive. And so people prefer to work with people that get guarantees in minutes, not months, just saying. All right, so here's the blueprint. I showed it to you, but there's just sort of a vague representation of it. And literally it's just yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And you work through the pieces of it so that nothing gets forgotten. Ta-da! We can make it happen. And the last 2 words, your life. So you can send those to me by noon on Sunday. And like I said, Sally and I will do a drawing. And then if you understand that your limiting subconscious beliefs are holding you back, you'll also understand that they can be changed. How fun is that to realize? I mean, truly. And then here's all the questions. But what if it sounds too good to be true? I'm skeptical. Will it work for me? Yes, it can be fun and fast and easy. It can work. And like I said, Nakia started this in '97 and she's worked with thousands of people. I haven't worked with thousands yet, but quite a few. Amy, I'm new to all this. I've never done anything like it before. I'm not sure what my limiting beliefs are. That's fine. We walk you through it step by step. I showed you the blueprint. It helps identify them for you. But Amy, I already use other techniques and I like them. I've tried other techniques and they didn't work. So you have both sides of it. Other techniques can make this work better. If you like to do tapping. I know, Nikki, that's something you're familiar with. Well, this just helps move things along quicker even. It's not going to stop that or delay it or, reroute you on that super highway. It's just going to help things go faster. And then I worked with C. Simone Rivers. So she was like, Amy was the perfect push forward through self-doubt to grab hold on the person I was becoming. And she was real fun. This shortly after she started with WPN, we worked together, and all the things that she's doing now. And then this was actually she's a neighbor of mine now, but we met through mutual friends, and she was having some issues. After one session, she got her answer. She's now changing her whole career. She worked in the banking industry, and she went to school. She just got her degree in metaphysics because that's what she wanted to do. She wrote a book that's going to be published, self-published in the next couple weeks, and is now married too. So a lot of things happened for her. So again, remember, if your beliefs drive 99.99995% of your results, you got to find the results that you want to get where you're going. So then, are you interested or are you committed? Oh, it's interesting, Amy. Thank you very much. Or are you committed to really trying what can be possible? And for Sally's friends, because I love her so much, let's bust those blocks fast. So sessions normally 150, but if anybody wants one, and I hope you do, the special for y'all is just 47. So you can throw that in with your email. Amy, let's talk more, or, I have a Calendly that we can set up too. And there you go. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop my share.
Thank you, Amy. That was really a very interesting thing. I mean, that was very interesting how that flows through. And I love it because if just having that picture of my beliefs in writing like that, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I heard the question and I wrote it down. I made the number. I didn't think about it. That's the number that I put down. So I thought that was a really interesting way to kind of get to my subconscious too, just even with that sheet. So that was,
I often go back to that flow chart too. When I'm looking at my results, what am I doing? Are my actions leading to my results right now? And if my actions are stuck, then I go backtrack and I think, you know what, this is because I'm not thinking that when I make that phone call, somebody's going to join me, or, those kinds of things that start to get into your head. And then, okay, I write up my own little goal and I pick up the phone and, that kind of thing. Sally, you and I just picked up the phone and called you that day.
Yeah.
About something totally different. And we started talking and you're like, this would be a really interesting adjunct to what you already do and teach to your people, because it's not your norm. It's a little different, but it's so simplistic.
And if you can get clear on your goal, then it makes it so much easier. Nothing else gets in the way. And so many of us, I'm like this. It's like shiny object. It's like, where am I going? And how are these shiny objects going to fit into the mold?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of an interesting, I feel that your work would be helpful in that kind of focus.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that.
You're
and I
welcome.
want to, we'll give Amy a moment. If you guys want to chat with her, I do want to reinforce that we do have the pendulum class coming up next week. And that'll be a fun thing to do because we're going to learn all about pendulums, how to clear them, how to care for them, how to use them on our bodies, how to get yes, no answers, how to get more answers than that. It's just kind of like getting a second opinion from yourself. So it goes with what Amy does as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. Keep your eyes open for the email coming out for the invitation. So thank you for that, listening to that. And anybody have any questions for Amy?
I just want to say something funny too. As I was picking the slides to use for this, I was muscle testing each one of them. And so I hope that they're the right ones that came through. I think they told the story that I wanted to tell. There was more that I could have picked from. But again, like you said, Sally, it's sort of like that second supporting answer, that, yeah, it's just like a second opinion.
And Donna was just mentioning she did something similar. And I do want to say that was a really cool slide presentation. I did like the variety of the pictures that you had. And they were attention grabbing in my opinion.
Thanks.
But yeah, Donna had just said that's what she drops out. She goes through her slide deck and goes,
That's it. As a matter of fact, Amy said she had like 150 slides, and I said, "You have a pendulum? Muscle test them."
Yeah. Yeah. True story.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm so confused, oftentimes I just throw the deck away.
Start again.
start all over again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, taking a step back is so important, I think. I didn't used to do that. I was really like, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And yet that reflection on anything in life. I mean, not just all of this, but just especially with what's going on in the world, just to sit back and say, how does this sit with me? Where do I want to take all this information? Where do I want to go with it?
What I oftentimes say is give yourself permission to fold. Fold early and fold often,
Yeah.
rather than holding on to a hand when you put good money after bad.
And
Yeah.
I was hearing Bob Proctor today, and he was saying that successful people make decisions fast to do something and change their decisions slowly. People who aren't so successful ponder and look at all the angles and everything, and then they'll change their mind real fast. It's kind of like with the stock market. Oh my gosh, it's dropping. Oh, sell, instead of going, okay, I've got a plan. So it's kind of all along that same line. Let's make our decisions. Let's jump in it and go with it, and then see what happens with it too. So there's a couple ways to look at that,
To that point, I was talking to somebody today about judo, and we were talking the same thing. When I was competing, you have to like decide you're going to do the move, like just do it. You go in, you do your attack, you come back out. If it doesn't work, you try it again a different way. You learn something from it, but you had 4 minutes on the mat to be successful or not successful. And for me to continue to remember those kinds of things, Donna tells me all the time, remember, you are a black belt in judo. You were ranked #1 in the country, and to constantly remind myself, not constantly, but to remind myself, yeah, it is those fast decisions. And then you can always change your mind. I mean, I tell my kids that too. Just decide. You don't have to be stuck. You can go back and change your mind. There's no rules about that.
Yeah.
You're going to learn from something you get into anyway. Yeah, you're going to learn something.
Please remember the story that you just told, because that's an important lead in to your presentation, Amy. That is so valid.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it just was by coincidence, not. It just was talked about today. Somebody was asking me about judo. Yeah.
So cool. Not everybody has that experience for sure. So that is awesome.
That's true. Pat, welcome. Go listen to the replay.
I've been here. I didn't mind thingy.
Oh, good. I didn't see you on my screen then.
Yeah. I vouch for her getting on.
You had to let me in.
That's true.
Thank you all for joining. Anyone else have anything? I thought you did a great job, Amy. Thank you so much for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah. So don't forget to reach out to Amy. Amy, what's your email address again? Oh.
AMY
Mm-hmm.
ETZ
Mm-hmm.
CCC at Gmail.
There you go.
I got the better one coming, but it hadn't been finalized yet. So.
Do you want to explain what that email means?
No, a holistic. It's the preschool
Gotta
that
be
I
a good
worked at.
story.
It's the preschool that I worked at. But Holistic Healing with Amy is my website.
There you go.
Oh,
So yeah, go there and you can check out, you can also see the tower gardens that I'm passionate about and all the nutritional products and so forth.
what was it
So
called?
you already have my email. I've emailed you the email.
Okay, perfect. Holistic Healing with Amy, Pat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With Amy, what?
With Amy. No, I just said
Dot
Pat
com.
because she was the one that asked me.
Oh,
Holistic
okay.
Healing with Amy.com.
.com.
Why don't you pull up your website? That's always a good thing to do at the end of a presentation so we can see it.
Oh, that Donna, she's got all the little tricks, doesn't she?
Yes. You can still share, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up and then I'll share my screen. Today is it's a holiday for some of the little kids that were in my class. And so the mom sent me, this is the reason I'm saying this, because the last thing that's pulled up on here was something about Bosnian food. Because they sent some food for us to try, which is kind of fun, kind of cool. I know. All right, so let me share.
How did your bears go, Nikki, today? Okay.
Went very well. Very well. Yep. I had called Nurse Claudia at Stanford and just told her that we were making bears. Does she need any? And she said, I left a message. She called me back. I'm still avidly sewing up bears with our group of people. She said, how did you know? I thought today I need to call Nikki and order 100 bears.
Wow.
And she says, whenever we hand these bears to these little children, she says to the child, she says, squeeze the bear and love it because it loves you. And these children just start squeezing the bear and calming down. And it's just a great healing tool.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
so special. So special.
So show us the site.
It's beautiful. I
So
love the
healing from
color.
the inside out. By the way, across the top, here's the ACT session. If anybody wants to sign up for one, this will talk about me. I think there's some cute old time pictures in there. There we go. Hold on. My fam. I had an uncle that lived to be 101, and he was the one that started all the holistic kinds of things. There's me right there. Little pipsqueak. And there's me as a nurse. There's me as a black belt, some judo pictures. Doing the Juice Plus. There's some Tower Garden. There's a video in here, shows you about the Tower Garden. Here's a list of the services.
Cool. And you got recipes in there and everything.
I got recipes. This is the first one. Is it the first one? There's one in here that I've been, yeah, this yellow tomato gazpacho. It's so good and refreshing for this time of year. My famous fried rice.
It's still cold in Virginia.
You know what? Actually, we're 30 degrees lower than we should be here in Atlanta. So that's interesting. But yep.
Your site is lovely.
It isn't that pretty. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Nice colors.
So we're going to honor our wrap up time. I do want to also, since I plugged, thank you so much, Amy. And hold on one sec. We've got the pendulums coming up next week. Pat's going to be our guest speaker next month, and she's going to be talking about healthy homes, right? And so
Love it.
we're going to learn all about how to take care of our homes so we can live healthy too. So this is all about, being our best selves. It was one of our questions here tonight, right? Well, many
Yeah.
of our questions, how to be healthy, happy, and wise. So thank you again, Pat, for volunteering. I'm not volunteering, but offering to do that. And Nikki has presented already at one time. Amy and Donna, if you'd like to come sometime, I'd love to have you.
Of course I would. Just get a hold of me.
I will. So Amy, I really want to thank you. Everybody reach out to Amy for your ACT session. it will help. I mean, what do you have to lose? It's under $50. You're going to get such insight into the subconscious. I think it would be just for a fun gift for somebody or whatever. We've got Father's Day coming up. I think many men would benefit from something like that.
Yeah. true
Great
that.
idea. Great idea.
Yeah,
All
true.
right. So thank
All
you
right.
all. And you all will get the replay.
Thank
Well,
you.